Welcome everyone to the Chola Chess Grandmaster Norm tournament here in Chennai, India. In front of your screen are two of India's biggest young talents. Mayank Chakraborty playing with the white pieces. He opens the game with d4 and facing him is Ethan Vaz. Ethan is doing amazingly well in this tournament. He's on 2.5 out of 3. He needs 6.5 points to make a GM norm, while Mayank, because his rating is lower than Ethan, he needs to make 6 points out of 9. Bishop g7 played here by Ethan. Mayank born in 2009, Ethan born in 2010. Amazing bout here, and King's Indian defense chosen by Ethan. A fighting choice here by the youngster. Meanwhile, Mayank going for the very positional fianchetto system. Mayank is a huge talent from Northeast India. He lives in Assam and he could very well become the first grandmaster from Northeast India. But he will need to beat Ethan in this round if he needs to have any chances, because he's on 1 point out of 3. He pushes his pawn forward to d5. Mayank, by the way, is incredible with his opening preparation. And knight a3, interesting move. You generally go knight d2 and put the knight on c3, but here, because the knight on b1 wasn't developed, Mayank got an additional opportunity to put the knight on a3. Very interesting. Rook e1 played, a6, and now e4, expanding in the center. You can see Mayank has 1 hour 34 minutes, while Ethan has 1 hour 3 minutes there. Rook b1 played. And now b3 might be the idea to just strengthen this pawn on c4. He goes rook to b8, and Ethan is aiming for the b5 break in this position. He plays his bishop to d2, putting pressure on the knight on a5 here, and b5 played. b3 very solid. So white has space, has very good structure. Queen comes up to c7 here, and now queen e2. He's putting pressure on the b5 pawn. Ethan pushes his pawn forward to b4 now. The knight on a3 has to move, and Mayank brings it back to c2. The knight comes to b7 with the idea of a5, a4 in the position, and whoa, Mayank goes for h4. He's going for the king side play now. You can see already the black king is a bit lonely on the side of the board. h5 played. Sometimes when I look at Mayank's games, I feel like an engine is playing, because he works so much with chess engines. His moves are so accurate. a5. And now maybe it's time to start rolling down your f pawn down the board. But he goes bishop c1, a very interesting decision. Maybe he just wants to trade the biggest defender of black's king side. a4 played here, and now pawn push to a4 is met with bishop b2. Ethan is in some grave trouble here. He takes on b3. And Mayank simply takes it back. ab3. Also, the time on the clock is greatly in Mayank's favor. He has 1 hour 7 minutes, while Ethan down to 20 minutes on the clock. Bishop takes bishop, chopped off, king takes. And now, how do you continue the attack? He goes f4. And although the black rook can come in on a2, it's a lonely attacker. That's only one piece. All of the black pieces are on their back rank here. Rook a1, another smart move by Mayank. He's like, you only have one aggressive piece, I'll exchange it. That will also give me control over the a file. But Ethan is like, I don't want to trade. I'll keep my rook active. I'll pressurize also the b3 pawn. But now the rook has to be traded. Rook takes rook, and each of white's pieces is more active than their black counterpart. Knight f6 played, and Ethan wants to go to the g4 square. That's an outpost for his knight. And Mayank goes knight e1. A slight hesitation from his end. Maybe better was knight e3 followed by queen b2 and e5. but he goes knight e1, knight jumps into g4. Can Ethan save this position? Because in a GM norm tournament, you can't afford losses. Knight goes back to d8. And now, is it time to push forward with e5? No, he goes f5. And it's the best move there in the position. If you take gf here, he wants to jump in knight f4 and attack this pawn. That's incredible. He takes it. And will Mayank play that? Look at his clock. He's 1 hour on the clock almost. He goes first rook f1. And that's maybe not the most accurate move. f6. If Ethan can find f6, his position is back. But he blunders with e5. And this one is not at all a good move, because I'll take the pawn now, threatening f6. So maybe black would go f6. But here's the point. The knight simply then jumps in. No, he doesn't play f6. He goes rook h8. We are on move 30. Ethan needs to make 10 more moves in 2 minutes. Mayank thinks for a bit, brings his knight back to e4. The knight is now looking at the d6 pawn, threatening to push f6 as well. The king goes back to f8. How will he finish off the game is the big question here. Bishop h3. That's a cool move, because now he simply wants to take on g4 twice and win a pawn. Notice what a big positional edge white has. I mean, the black pieces are there with simply no rolls. Queen d2. Mayank is not even keen on winning any material. He's simply attacking this rook now. Rook h8. And maybe you can think about also entering in with your queen. He takes on g4. H takes. And now queen g5 is a powerful move. Finds it. Queen to g5. The pawn is hanging. f6 is coming in with a check in the position. And you can see Ethan's face there. His time is running down. He knows that he's completely lost. He plays f6, giving up the pawn. This is not the kind of game he would have loved to play after such a good start in the tournament. But that's how good these youngsters are. They are quite evenly matched. Now knight f7 and knight to g5 is a very, very strong move. Ken finds it. Rook to h6. And he takes on f7. Takes. Everything is traded. Knight g2. Calculated. The g4 pawn is falling. And if you take bishop f5, it doesn't help because this is a pin. So king f8 played by Ethan. He's reached move 40. But well, there's no solace in that. He's just completely lost. Knight takes g4. 2 extra pawns. King comes up. These 3 pawns are just running down the board. And well, it took some time for Mayank to win this position. But the result is not in doubt anymore.